Good evening, everyone. I'd like to share something with you that I believe is very, very important. Over the next several years, there's going to be a lot of anger and frustration on this planet, and it's important that we realize we not be part of it. Now, as I've said before, we're an antenna. We send energy out and we receive energy. But I want to talk to you about yourself, the great I am. And it's really very important. And as Shakespeare said, to thine own self be true. And this is a point in time that we're coming to on this planet that we have to be very introspective. And of course, what does introspective mean? And it means that we should look at ourselves, look at our behaviors, and see exactly what is going on in our life. And by that, I mean going on. Look at the things that bring you love and joy and happiness. Look at the things that bring you pleasure. And look at the things that are creating challenges in your life. Isn't it interesting that the challenges in our life control and manipulate us? Sometimes they are reality. Sometimes they are theoretical. But in either way, whether it's reality or theoretical, it creates an imbalance, and let's call it fear. False expectations appearing real. And this is the time when you look at whatever is going on in your life and say, what do I need to believe in? What do I need to change? And what do I need to accept? Now, many people you meet, sometimes they're in denial. And of course, if you think about being in denial, it something means we don't want to face the truth of what is occurring in our life. And you have heard me say this before, but everything is a payoff. And I want to put this thought in your mind that as you become more introspective, the payoff for you is you're going to heal. You're going to be in the state of more knowingness. And you're going to become unlimited. The one thing we need to understand is there's no such thing as a victim unless we create the victimhood. And so many people I meet, they're analytical and logical, and I combine the words together as analogical. And they're in their head all the time. And they got to think of things and examine the things. And I asked the true source, why do they have to be in their head? Why do they have to examine everything? And the answer I got was because they need proof. They doubt. They don't accept. And I said, wow, how can you doubt when certain things happen? And I know that if something positive happens in my life, I help create it. And when I say I help create it, I created it along with the celestial beings, which I call the True Source Created Resources, and of course the True Source, of which I am an aspect of. And I know when things go kittywampus, I have created that. And what am I to learn from that? Why did I create that? And if we begin to understand that, if everything is nothing but an experience to empower our life, by concentrating who you are, the true I am, you will begin to understand that everything in your life that is your interpretation of positive or negative is all about empowering yourself so that you can walk the path. And when you don't walk the path, that means following your missions and goals. What happens is you run into roadblocks or chaos or whatever you want to call it. But essentially, everything that is going on in your life, you are creating at one level or another. It's either a karmic that you agree to be created in your life and you helped it happen, or it's something about being empowered, about self-worth, self-love, and self-esteem. There's that old things again. Self-worth, self-love, and self-esteem. There are souls that I meet that are in a hurry. And of course, being in a hurry, they want to get over something really quickly. Well, you know what? I'm no different. I want to get over something really quickly. But before I can get over something quickly, I have to understand why it's in my life. That's why I become introspective. And what is it creating in my life that I am to learn? And that's the key word. What am I creating in my life to learn? And it could be to learn to standing up for yourself. Could be to learn about self-worth, self-love. It could be about doing your mission and goal. It could be about remembering that you are divine aspects of the true source. Could be about being a teacher, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. Could be about any of those things. But when you realize you become more introspective, not in an intellectual way of like an engineer or a scientist, but really understanding why it's in your life. And if you're unsure, ask the true source to give you a clear and concise picture, example, or answer, any way you want to phrase it, that you can't misunderstand it. And when I tell a lot of people that, the first thing is, well, nothing's happening. Really? Yep, I didn't hear anything. Well, of course they want to hear, Michael, this is la, 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 la. That's called clairaudience. Well, I tell you, that's very rare. And it's only happened a few times in my life. But the important thing is, when you ask that question, there'll either be what I call a mirror, meaning someone will be going through what you're going through, and you go, aha, I understand that. Or you'll have a dream or a vision or a thought. Either way, you're getting your message. Now, the fact is, when you're introspective and you ask for a message, it's given to you right away, except that our own egos get in our way and we expect it to be done a specific way. And then when I tell people there's a reason, I get a big argument. You know what I do? Okay. Yep. Okay, that's all I do. I won't argue with them because that's their perception. Does that mean I'm 100% correct all the time? No. It's just when I see something, I say it. And I usually have a vision or a true source guiding me and telling me that. But if it's not what someone expects to hear, they will argue with you. And remember, I had one client, and they said, you know, when you get married, you will always know whether that relationship's going to work out or not. And she argued with me. And I said, okay. And three months later, she was talking about her ex-husband. And she goes, well, I know when I walked down the aisle, it wouldn't work. I never said another word. Because she wanted to hide the fact that the information I gave her from Spirit was correct. So you know what? We can lie to ourselves. And the only one we're hurting is ourselves. The only one we're in denial of is ourselves. But the truth is something that's very empowering. And once you admit, yeah, I blew it, or I made a mistake, or you ask to be forgiven, then whatever that truth is, it's over and done with. And you can now move forward in clarity. But by being introspective, meaning take a long look at your life. And what is your identity? Not your car, not your house, not your bling. It is not your body. It is not the color of your skin or your hair or your eyes. None of those things. It's where your heart is, where your soul is. That's who you truly are. Some of the most unconditionally loving and caring people were not attractive in our standards at all, but they were loving and caring. And if you look at Mother Teresa, I don't know what she looked like when she was younger, but she was not an attractive woman. But a heart the size of this planet is even bigger, and loving and caring. And that's what's important. So we need to stop being superficial, and we need to stop and take the time to look at ourselves, our actions, and figure out by meditation what makes our heart sing so that we can have a life of joy and happiness. You know, my mantra is that you are unlimited. And I'm in the process of rebranding myself to include that. and I'll fill you in when I'm through with it. But that helps me with my mission and goal. So you can imagine, what does Michael do? Well, he's a teacher, a healer, past life regressionist, on and on and on and on and on. Like, really? People don't want to hear all that stuff. You just want enough to know, is that the right person? And it's by your actions, people will love you, respect you, honor you, or be jealous of you, or C, reject you. And I always like to think that with the True Source's assistance, I can heal everything and everyone and everybody. The reality, or actually the truth is, yes, reality, that person has to want to be healed. You know, I'm just a conduit, as all of us are nothing but a conduit for the True Source. So it really boils down to this, and that is to be introspective, to know that you're unlimited, and that you know you can create anything. So in this coming week, be introspective. Think about what you want to achieve in your life, and then follow through on those thoughts.